Welcome, this is Jennifer McGuire. Today I have a product release close-up video showing the newest fabulous release from Neat Tangled. Please know I don't work for Neat Tangled. I wasn't sponsored to do this, blah, blah, blah. I just like this release. I think it's great. It's not a huge release, but I really think that there are some really well-designed products here. Let's start with two of my favorites from the release. We have the Awesome Stamp Set and the Awesome Die Set. These are sold separately. First up is the Awesome Die Set. There are actually two dies in this set. One cuts the intricate word that says awesome. It's a fun hand lettering. The other die cuts the shadow. You can see two die cut examples that I did here. I really like that it offers the shadow. There are many fun things you could do for this. You could create a window with the shadow die and then have the word awesome glued on the inside of the card so you can open it up and see it from the inside and the outside. You can use these together or separate. You can even just use the shadow to help the word stand out on a card. So before I show you an example with it, I wanted to show you the Awesome Stamp Set that goes with it. You could use it with or without this die set. It does have the stamp at the same size in the set, and then the sentiments that you can use before or after it to create different greetings. I have already used these to create this card that I showed in a video, which I will link to. I do plan to use this die and stamp set again very soon. And then here's a card my friend Heather did. I will link to her blog below. I thought this was great. She used the shadow die cut to create a mask around the sentiment. Really fun way to use it. This stamp and die set will definitely be on my favorites 2016 list. Next we have the Neat Tangled Say Yes to Donuts. These images are just adorable. You can stamp the little girl, little boy holding the donuts, and then you can also stamp the little faces kind of peeking out. You could also use those little faces peeking out of something else besides a donut, maybe a die cut that you have or a big bold sentiment. So that you can use these with or without the donuts theme. There are also a lot of fun sentiments in a fun font on this set. I think it'd be fun to add little sequins or little beads for the sprinkles on the donut if you wanted to. A really playful set and definitely great for kids. Be sure to do a Google search on the title of the stamp set, of any stamp set you're curious about. I know this one in particular has a lot of great examples out there by the Neat Tangled design team. There are coordinating dies also available. This is another fun set, the Big Top Birthday. You could use this in so many ways. I think these images are so much fun. I can't wait to use that little guy in the middle to hold up maybe a sentiment, or you can stamp him upside down and have him doing a headstand. You can change the balloon that little girl clown is holding. You can use this set in so many different ways. The little boy can be holding the cake. The little lion could be holding the cake. You can really get creative with this one. I think it's hard to find a really good birthday set, and this really fits the bill. And it does have a coordinating die set available. I wanted to show you another card by my friend Heather. She said I could share these. She is so clever. I really like how she put the Awesome set together with this stamp set to create this fun card here. I can't wait to try it myself. So I know many people out there are coffee lovers or know somebody who is. This stamp set is really fun for that type of person. It's called Neat Tangled Big Bold Brew. It's a smaller stamp set, so it does have a great price point and it has a coordinating die available. I think this one's fun because you could put something on the cup. You could decorate the cup or stamp the greeting on it and make a small card and maybe hold a like Starbucks gift card with it also. Next we have the Neat Tangled Fractal Cloud. So Neat Tangled had a fractal heart before, and I will link at the end of this video to a card that I did with that. And it's really fun to color those little triangles different colors. So this one's actually a cloud with raindrops. And I really like the sentiments on here. So you have showers of blessings. God showers us with his love. Many different sentiments you can put together. There is a die set that also goes with it that you can get. I think you can come up with some really unique designs here, and it's fun to color those little triangles. This is one of my other favorites from this release. This is the Stitched Sunburst die set. So it comes with both of these dies. One cuts the sun, one cuts stitch or creates the little stitches for the sun, or you can use them together. So on this one, I did the stitching on one of the die cut suns. I think that's really fun to have these dies that can be used together or separate. I think the Stitch Sunburst itself would be fun to put behind maybe a sentiment or something that you want to cut and turn into the focal point on a card. You can layer these die cuts and create a fun flower from them. I think it'd be fun to cut from felt and layer to create a flower. So this one is one you'll be seeing me use in the future. I think it's good because it can go with a variety of card types or styles. So I really like alphabet die sets. However, the letters are often too small to kind of fuss with, or they're too big and bold to fit on a card. Well, this is a great solution. This is the Neat Tangled Journaling Alphas. These are tall but narrow, so you can fit a sentiment or a person's name on the front of a card, but they're not too small to deal with. So you can either cut an entire background of a card using the letters as is, or just die cut them from cardstock. I want to do like an ombre look on these, so die cut them from white cardstock and kind of color an ombre look on them. Now, what I also like is to die cut these from craft foam instead, so they have some dimension to them, and they cut beautifully through craft foam and felt. So here these are cut from some white craft foam, and you can see how substantial they are. They turn into like little embellishments. So this is a great way to personalize cards, and since they're tall and narrow, it'll still fit along the width of a card. I'm really excited about these next 3 products. These are probably 3 of the most creative products I've seen in paper crafting. If you have a child or a friend who's into video games, this is a lot of fun. It doesn't look like much in the sets here. I'm going to show you an example in a moment. But first we have the pixilated faces. That's what you see here. All these pieces can be used to create like a face, a pixelated face. And then here's the pixilated circle. This looks kind of weird, but this creates a fun pop-up face for inside your card, or you can just use this circle for something else. Then we have the Neat Tangled pixilated sentiments. You could use these with or without the dies that I showed you. A lot of fun things that are great here for kids. I've made several cards for my son and his friends for their birthday using these dies and stamps. I really like the sentiments in here. But I really feel a card example is the best way to show how these are used. So here's a card that I made for my son's friend. When you open up the card, it pops up to see this face here, this pixelated face. Let me show you how it's done. It's very easy. I have a top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch note card. I line up that line on the die with the score line, and then I will run this through my die cut machine. So it does fit in the width of a die cut machine here. And this is kind of look weird when you die cut it, but what it creates is this circle area that pops up in the inside of your card. So I did have a pencil line there just so I could see my score line. I erased that. And now I'm just going to start working the score lines to turn them into folds. And before you know it, what you have is this circle that pops up in the center of your card. After you have all the folding done, you can go ahead and close the card up and use a bone folder to really reinforce all the folds that you've done. Now you can see the outside of the card looks a little funny. So what I did was cut a yellow note card to the same size. It's a top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch yellow card. And I'm going to glue the white inside of it. So the outside of my card is now yellow. And check this out, when you open it, that face or that circle area pops up, which is really a lot of fun. So now I'm going to use the Pixilated Faces dies to create a little face. There are many pieces in the die set, so you can create a bunch of different faces. I decided to go with a smiley face and sunglasses. So I just glued all those pieces on top of that pop-up circle, and we have a really fun card. I stamped a sentiment from the Pixilated Sentiment stamp set on the inside of the card and also on a strip to put on the front of the card to kind of pull it all together. So the outside of this card is very simple, but the inside has the fun surprise. And by the way, I messed up my stamping on the front. That's why I covered it up with the cardstock strip sentiment. These are so creatively designed. My son and I have had so much fun creating a bunch of these for his friends. And by the way, Neat Tangled did release a pixelated heart die that did like a pop-up heart. And that was in a previous release, but you can check that one out too. The last product in this release is the hexistar stencil. This would be really fun to put on white cardstock, add some color over it with a stencil brush, and then shift the pattern slightly and add another color for a layered effect. Okay, so that wraps up this release. I link all the products in my YouTube description below, but you can find much more information over on my blog, jennifermcguireinc.com. I'll have a giveaway there too. In the middle are 2 other videos. The first shows using that awesome die on a card. The second video that I have there in the middle is another Neat Tangled video. It's a pixelated heart. It might give you some ideas for using the products I showed you today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back soon.